Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everyone. Welcome once again to another episode of the 7X Growth Podcast. I'm your host today, Gerold Joubert, and with me is Christian Nyembue, my co-host. Welcome, Christian.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You have to be excited. It's our first podcast of 2025.
I am excited. I couldn't wait.
Yes, we are back, and this year we want to make sure that we stay consistent with our podcast. And on this podcast, we're going to be talking all things business, business growth, business strategies, business risk, and just helping you as an individual and as entrepreneurs and as managers, owners, CEOs, C-suite, whatever position you have in business, we want to help you to grow your business. So today we are going to be diving into a little bit of I don't want to say it's a negative topic, but it's something we need to think about. It's something that's going to be a little bit more focused on risks that could be potentially a problem for businesses in 2025.
And I don't know if you guys were prepared for it, so because it's very important to know about that.
Yes, these 5 things, I mean, there are more. We have discussed this, and there are definitely many more things we can talk about, but we don't want it to be all doom and gloom. So we kind of just looked at the 5 main risks that you need to be aware of within 2025 for your business, and just some strategies, just a discussion about what are these risks and what can you do to manage your risks in your business. All right, so are you ready? Should we kick off with the first one?
Yes, I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right, so the first one that we're going to be talking about, obviously, and I say obviously because that's the talk of the day, and it is technology. Technology is a double-edged sword. It is both something that is incredibly good for us, but at the same time, it does introduce a lot of risk into our businesses. We live in an age where there is AI. AI is expected to grow by multitudes more this year. We saw the CEO of NVIDIA during the CES this year in January. He spoke about the new chips that they brought out that is able to do AI processing. I can't remember the stats now. I probably should have had them here, but thousands of times faster than the current processors. So we know that AI is going to be growing rapidly this year. Then there's things like technology adoption. There's things like cybersecurity that we need to talk about. We saw the report, the Vodacom 2024, I think, cybersecurity report that came out, I think, in November, if I remember correctly. It was last year, November, that the report came out. So, Christian, maybe you can start us off and just talk a little bit. What do you think about technology poses a great risk for businesses? And from your perspective, what have you seen some of our clients talking about, or things that you think people need to be aware of for technology?
Technology is a very good tool to integrate to your business. As we're talking about businesses, as a business, we have to adapt into what the buyers and the population or people want. Yes. And what we're seeing now, it's people are getting into the technology. So as a business, you have to follow what the people want. But also, as a business, you want to save the spending, the cost, to cut the cost. Yes. That's a business strategy. But if you don't adapt into the business or into the technology, you will left behind. Your competition or they will take over, because business comes with the cost that for you to operate. Business comes with the the rapidity or the speed that you're delivering your services, and then all these things can be covered by the technology.
Yes.
But we know the weakness of technology, because the same people are making those technology. The same people can also break into your system. I remember there's a movie that's outside. It's a new movie. I won't mention the name of the movie, but in the movie they're showing that there's a key that one of the guy in the movie had that key. That key could manipulate everything, can shut down everything. So like a whole city can go in darkness just by one click.
Yeah,
and then they will just like, you see what the technology made the city to look good. The technology made the city to have the lights, to have the things to control. From one place you control the whole city. But again, the technology is, if someone knows the vulnerability of that technology, they can easily break in and steal whatever. And we see it with all the data that's outside in dark web. They steal it, they do all those stuff.
I just now, before we started the podcast, I read an article by My Broadband on Facebook. They were talking about the data leak that happened last year with some Pick and Pay customers, and something like 100,000 people's information that was leaked on the dark web. Like, that's just now.
So you see that that's now the side of vulnerability that technology presents. But what can we do? That's why AI is very important, because AI can do what as human being we cannot do. And then that comes with cyber security. So the mix of cyber security and AI help us to try to edge a little bit that, or to take advantage of that security problem, because AI have the rapidity, or can analyze quickly the data or whatever that is there, and then can catch any attack from the outside of your organization. But also AI can respond quickly, because if now they attack our server, our organization, the time that has to come to try to respond to change or whatever, it can take us time to think. But AI can quickly respond, catch it, respond it, and then save your data or whatever or money that can be whatever that people wanted. Because when people steal data from you, they steal it because they want to use it for something else. But AI can help with that, with cyber security. That can be something that is helping, because even AI has its own vulnerability of it. So if someone knows how to prompt it from outside, they can steal it.
The same thing that's helping you. So there's definitely a rise in AI, the use of AI within cybersecurity defenses, counterattacks, and so on. But then also it does come with a high cost. One of the key issues that we see, especially around cybersecurity, is that, well, number one, most people are ignorant of the risk. But in fact, on this report by Vodacom, they said that 80% of South African businesses reported that they were victims of cyber crimes last year. Like 80% of businesses.
Can you imagine
That's
that?
That's
very high.
So we see a lot of these things happening, and most of the time it's ignorance. Your staff needs to be trained to know what is phishing, what is spear phishing, how does ransomware work, what are the vulnerabilities. Like, don't click on links, don't open emails, don't open attachments, don't open weird SMSs that says, a cousin in the UK passed away and they left you £2 billion pounds, things like that. So it's really important. I think the in hedging, as you mentioned, there's a lot of education that is needed, a lot of training, but also we have one big problem, which is a shortage of cybersecurity, if we can call them experts, not only in South Africa, but actually worldwide, because it's growing so rapidly that there just isn't enough people to employ. So we have to educate ourselves and invest in good infrastructures that can hedge the risk, whether it's protocols and servers and firewalls and contingency plans to say if there is a data breach, how are we going to handle this? If we do get hacked and our system gets locked up, how do we keep on operating? If, for example, there's a ransomware attack and they say, well, unless you pay us 2 million rand, we're not going to release your computers or your system. And then so there has to be that contingency plan to know what's going to happen.
Education is very important because, in those, let's say 80% of companies or businesses that have been attacked, how many of them had a very good security?
No. Most of those people and companies are targeted because they are vulnerable and they are ignorant.
And most of the time, it's just those big companies, big corporate companies, that are the one who have the system in place to. But so many of us, we don't really have it. That's why we are vulnerable to it. And education, it's good, but also are we able to afford it? And that's so we have to see.
Can we afford to do it?
Yes,
that's the thing.
That's the thing also.
Because the risk is extremely high, and it's South Africa is actually the fifth, in terms of the statistics worldwide, the fifth largest ranked country in the world in terms of cybercrime. So we are definitely, South Africa is a target, and I think we are amongst countries like the UK, Canada, the USA, other European countries, and some East Asian countries as well. But we rank up there, which means that people know that there is money in South Africa, and people know that we are vulnerable because there's not enough education around cybersecurity. People do stupid things, because they don't know, and so we are a target. And knowing that you're a target, you need to be prepared to know you have to make sure that you as a company, your company, and you as an individual make yourself a difficult target. Because if somebody wants to, let's say, break into a house and there's 5 houses in the street and all the houses have high fences and security cameras, but there's one house that has no security, they're just going to target that one because it's the easiest. And so we have to make sure that as companies and individuals, we do the work, we invest, at least what is the necessary amount of time and money into workshops and education and basic systems, so that we remove ourselves as a prime target, so that we don't become, as they say, a sitting duck. You're not open and say, hey, here I am, my company is vulnerable, we don't have anything, so hack us. You don't want that, so you want to make sure that you're not the obvious target.
Yeah, but so far technology is very good.
Yes, there's opportunities.
There's a very high, and good opportunity there. You as a business, you have to think about that. You have to implement that because, let's just take a good example of us. If we didn't know much about technology, we were not going to be able to handle our operation, our delivering to our client, because we know, and then we used it for our favor. There's a lot of stuff that you can use for your technology, and there's a lot of information that you yourself as a business owner, as a founder, you have to go and read and see. There's things like blockchain that you have to know. Okay, what is the use? How can you use it? Sometimes with AI. There's even, I was reading somewhere there's a agentic AI.
Yes.
Do you know what that means?
Yes, I do.
That's
like the new. They call it the new conversation layer, just like it was like internet. Then it was social, like you have to have social media. Oh, you have to have a website, then social media. Oh, you need to have so the next thing is like, do you have an agent, an AI agent?
So that can save you money in your the quick response. It's like, because one of the things that destroy businesses in customer acquisition is the conversation that you have with your customer to get you to close.
Yes, the time frame.
But if you are using something that can, you are using, let's say, AI agent that can take your customer to a place where you will get that customer that customer is already like warm, and then feed it with whatever you wanted your customer to hear, and you just close as a human being.
Yes.
So that is saving you the cost of I understand some people want to have a job to take that process, but you as a business, you want also to save cost so that you can operate in the long run with your business. So that's the use of AI. And as AI has a vulnerability, so you have now to try to edge to see how you can save and protect yourself to that vulnerability. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't try to do it. You shouldn't. You should run away from it. You go for it, but know where and how to do the things like how to. You can save yourself, how you can protect yourself, implement your cyber security, educate your people, educate yourself, and use these tools that are outside there for you in and your profit, and just grow with it.
It also goes with the idea of innovation. I think technology these days, it has really revolutionized the way that we innovate, where we can use, for example, AI as an assistant to help us innovate faster, to go through, like you mentioned, data faster, to look at to make data-driven decisions, but also to innovate in the company, like you were mentioning, the AI agents as well. That's an innovation. I read a statistic by the World Economic Forum in their report on jobs, the 2020-25 job report. It's like a 300-page report. And they mentioned there that only 34%, I might be mistaken exactly, but it's around there, 34% of companies worldwide are adapting technology on at the rate that they're supposed to. That's a scary statistic. Which means the other risk with regards to technology, before we move on to the next big risk, is the lack of innovation. The lack of onboarding technology, falling behind on adapting technology. So it's very important for you as a business owner or a manager or in the department where you're working, that you have that mindset to ask the question, how can I implement technology in the work that I'm currently doing? Because the risk is, if you don't do that early, you will fall behind. And when you fall behind, it significantly increases your risk of losing out on clients and new opportunities. And that risk just grows rapidly, significantly with time. So if you don't implement technology today, in 2 months, you are not 2 months behind. You might be 5 years behind in terms of innovation. And so what we see a lot of companies, the mistakes that they are making is they are not paying enough attention to technology. We've done this like this for many years. It has worked for us. This is a proven method. It might be a proven method now, but there's going to come a time where your competitors or someone that you don't even consider a competitor is going to come out with something. They're going to innovate in a way that's going to destroy your business model. And so you need to be on the forefront of revolutionizing the way that you're doing things by exploring technology. Like we are in Oxana, we're constantly doing that, asking the question, how can we do this using technology? Is there a better way to do this? How can we propose a new way for our clients to implement the same things so that it makes it easier for them, it's faster for them, it's more convenient for them, and we're able to drive down the costs as well. So this is technology is a very big thing. It's beautiful. It's awesome. We love technology here, but we know that it's a double-edged sword, and if you're not careful, it's going to cut you. So this is one of the big risks.
Maybe to finish with this first one, I love who's this guy of Amazon? What is his name?
Steve Bezos.
Jeff Bezos.
Jeff Bezos. Steve. I'm sorry, Steve.
So there's Jeff Bezos has talked about being stubborn but flexible. So the problem of so many business owners and managers and even people working inside who have big responsibility in their companies is people, they have what they know and what they don't know. So if I know how to operate in this environment, I want to keep my environment in the way it is because I'm used to it.
Comfortable, yes.
I'm comfortable with it. But for your business to grow, you have to have that flexibility. You have to be stubborn with your business strategy and the way you want to go it. But you must know that for you to grow in the place where you can reach more people and have more impact, you have to be flexible. That's why you see Amazon, they always work in the implement the technology inside their businesses so that they can grow faster. They want to deliver faster. They want to their customer service. It's that flexibility to see what's working outside there, you change. What's not working, you remove. That flexibility, and at the same time, you know that this is what I want to achieve. This is what I'm doing. Like, for example, us is growth. We are in the business of growth, but how do we still continue to help people to grow? And at the same time, implement things that will help them to grow faster. And then that's both flexibility and stubbornness can help you to, like, you're in the business of your competition. And the one who's faster is the one who's going to win the war. And whether we want it or not, business is a war.
Yes.
If there's 100 people, 100,000 people are doing the same business of growth like us, we have to grow faster to be one of the leading company in this field. So it's that flexibility and that stubbornness in our vision that is going to help you to grow. And flexibility is you to implement technology. Flexibility is you to implement technology to protect yourself, because you protect yourself against technology by using technology. So that's the idea behind all these things. But technology is one of the things that you have to really, in this year 2025, you have to put your eyes there, see what's happening outside there, see which. I was just here before to start this podcast. Someone sent me someone who's into real estate, asking me what AI tool do you know there outside there that can help me to to grow faster in my business of selling house, buying or whatever there. So that's a person who's flexible. That's a person who wants to grow. That's a person who wants to adapt into the technology and whatever that's there. And I was like, okay, I was happy. I was like, okay, it's fine. I'm going to do some research for you and I'm going to send you. So that's the spirit, that's the mindset that you have to have in your business this year, to look at what can you change, what can you add, what can you remove, because some of the stuff you don't have to keep them, you have to remove them or replace them with better option than what you have now.
That's good. Yeah, we have to remain agile as companies and especially decision makers. which takes us to the second big point, and we're going to pick up the pace slightly here. But the second big point, the risk for 2025, of course, is economical disruptions. Or economic disruptions, rather, in proper English. So the forecast for the global inflation is currently sitting at 3.2% for this year. We also saw that from 2020, the international regulations in terms of trade and trade regulation and also border regulations for imports and exports, the amount of regulations and how strict they are have more than doubled in the last 4 years, which is very concerning. So it's becoming harder and harder for us to do international business. At the same time, the local economy is also slowing down, even though it's slowly recovering in South Africa, but nothing close to what I think they want it to be, the recovery for this year. But it's going to be a slow turn, and so we need to be ready for that and understand who are we targeting in terms of clients. Relook at your target audience, relook at your business model, make sure that you are not trying to tap water from a rock, because there are certain industries or certain markets where there just isn't enough money anymore. And you need to be aware of that. So you need to know the economical situation of your market, the people that you're selling to, what can they afford, what can't they afford. And if you refuse to change and adapt, as we just said, to be agile, then you're going to lose out, because people are going to look for either better services or cheaper services, or, just altogether move away from using that service completely. In this report by the World Economic Forum, they talk about the different jobs that will disappear in the next 5 years. So things like bank tellers and administrative positions, data driven positions, so data research and insights, gathering data and working through data. Postal services, post is like dead, the post office.
Because AI is taking over.
Some of it's AI, yes, a lot of it. Robotics in manufacturing, even in agriculture, there's a big drive for moving over to more robotic, workforce. It's a weird way to say it, but so we have to understand the economic disruptions that's going to take place this year. We can't predict the economy with 100% accuracy, but we need to know that there is a risk. And so going together with that is understanding that you need to focus on building up cash flow. And that's important, that as a company, you have some cash flow set aside. We saw what happened with COVID. Companies that were thriving and I was still working in corporate back then, and I saw some of my clients that were doing very well. They closed because they just didn't have the cash flow to sustain themselves for that year. And it was a very unfortunate, and it's very sad. But we need to be prepared for this. So as much as we can, we should be working towards building up some cash flow in the company, either putting them into assets that can be liquidated within a reasonable time, which is normally 30 to 90 days, so that you can get that cash loose, and then if you need to use it in an emergency. So we're always working towards having a couple of months in budget, just so that you have that cash flow. And then as the economy changes, then you have the leverage to be able to go through the economy. There's a book, maybe you I don't know if you know, one of these authors, I forget who it was, but he talks about, they ask him this question, how do you make it this far, because he's been in business for many years. And he said, that business is up and down. Business is never going to be, or it's seasonal. You're never going to do always good. There's going to be years where it's dry, and there's going to be years where it's, I actually think it was Grant Cardone that was saying that. And he was saying that it's important that you realize, it was either him or Richard Kiyosaki. Is it for Rich Dad, Poor Dad?
Yeah.
Is it Richard?
Robert
James and Jeff, Richard and Robert. But he was saying, the smart people, what they do is that they save up so that in difficult times, they buy.
Yeah.
When everybody's selling, they're buying. And then when the market recovers, they sell at a high price.
That looks like is Kiyosaki or
I think
Cardone
it
also can
was.
say.
I think it was
that. So
Kiyosaki. Yes.
I think Kiyosaki said something like that in this. I remember that word. But it's very important to follow up with the economics because, like for example, look what when Donald Trump was running for the election, the statement that he was talking about that is going to the taxation of the BRICS countries.
Yes.
Say like he was like no for them because say today America is still the big power when it comes to the power to buy, the buying power.
Yes.
America still have it, and if you're not selling in America, you are losing a lot. That's why you see like businesses like TikTok, they're still fighting to be in America.
Yes.
That's the problem. Like talking about the economical disruption is that politicians can change anytime.
Yes.
And they can tax, they say, okay, if you want to import or export into America, it's 100%. And that 100% tax, is it 100% tax? That is going to affect your money. And it's not only going to affect you, but it's going to also to affect if you are inside the country, it's going to affect your like the pricing. Because what economics affect price because it's politicians who decide how much power people are going to have with the GDP or other stuff.
Yes,
so
yes.
you have to be also flexible in your pricing to keep into the market beside you saving, because you can also say, okay, I'm going to save, I'm going to have 3 months, but in a 3 months, are you going to survive after 3 months? So you have to know how to pivot in your, like just let's go inside your company in the way you price your product, but also you have to be able to change because it's all the companies that we see, big companies today, they didn't start as they are today. They have been evolving, changing, moving into the place they are right now. They might be starting as an agriculture company, but now they're into technology. So
look at Amazon started as a bookstore, which was it. Samsung started as a a grocery store, wasn't it? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
So it's like I think it was. They were a grocery store before.
So that's something that you have to be aware with, that politics affect your business directly. And this year, 2025, it's one of the year where there's a lot of problems. There's war in Europe with Ukraine and Russia, and it might expand. And we all know that when the war in Russia started, it affected the price we buy.
Yep. The cost of everything went up.
Even oil and things, everything went up.
Yeah, grain.
Africa, we are still behind because Africa, it's whether you are in BRICS or you are in the other side of America, the Western countries. So when BRICS and the West, whatever, they're fighting, it's going to affect your business directly. But also inside our countries, we were talking about the problem like inside here in South Africa.
I was just looking that up again because I read it this morning. There was a proposal made in government for a new BEE tax on South African businesses that would see a tax increase after you've already been taxed of another 3% on your profit. So it's obviously being debated quite vigorously, and I do hope that it does not go ahead because that's extremely anti-competitive and it's going to cause a lot of problems. But it's things like that, exactly like you're saying, that we need to be aware of the economical situation in your own country, but also more than ever, global economics affect us. Like in the past, we could say, this is happening there, but the world is a global village. We no longer live in isolation. I was looking at some statistics the other day, something like 900,000 South Africans live in the UK and Wales. It's like, we are so 900,000. Like the top exporting countries in Africa is Nigeria and South Africa in terms of human capital, like people. So for the UK specifically,
it doesn't look like that.
It doesn't look like that.
It looks like South Africans don't like to.
No, they show South Africans are leaving, and that's the third risk that we're going to talk about. Should we just go into that?
Yes.
Which takes us immediately into the next one, which is the talent gap. And this is a risk that maybe you have or have not come across, but worldwide there is an increasing talent gap. Like there is a problem of having laborers. We've said this before on a previous episode. I can't remember which episode it was, but for example, in South Africa, we have an unemployment rate of over 40, close to 50% unemployment. So the problem is not that we don't have workers. The problem is that, number one, there's not enough jobs, yes. But number two, there's not enough skill, which means that the jobs that are there and that are high-paying, high-grade jobs, they need a certain level of skill. And our development of skill is too slow to keep up, which means that, and I actually saw an article about this about 2 years ago. They were talking about the global scale of labor shortage in terms of critical skills, things like cybersecurity, programming, AI, or machine learning development, like skills that are really tech driven, especially, and then your more specialized research skills and medical skills. Those skills are a shortage, not just in South Africa, but all over the world. So there's going to become this point where the companies with the most money and the greatest incentives that incentivize people to work for them, you get more benefits, you have a better paycheck, you have more free time and flexibility. Like the big companies, they can afford to give people those things, and they are going to take all the good talent.
The good talent. Yeah.
And then you are going to be stuck with people that either can't do the work, and you're going to have to invest a lot of money at point number 99 because you're going to wake up and realize you're behind on tech or in whatever industry you have a shortage, especially if you're in the business where you have people that perform critical skills that are scarce. Any tech company, any company that has to do or drives with critical skills that involve things that have technology, AI, programming, the medical fields as well, research fields, like there's a lot. South Africa has a statistic on what they consider. And we know also they're looking at actually expanding now the list of critical skills so that we can broaden the visa application approvals for people that want to come in. Because South Africa, just like many countries, we are realizing that actually we are falling behind. Like we don't have the people to do the work that is necessary. And on the other side of that coin, we waited too long to start investing in people to develop our own.
So it's the problem, the gap, the talent gap. It's not only South Africa. Elon Musk, I think this month before the inauguration, he was talking about that. He even influenced with his friend. He influenced the change into regulation in the way the visa application for America.
I saw that
because
as well. Yes,
he was saying that they have shortage on people to work on their businesses, and so America have to open up so that they can bring more people to come inside, and then if even people who are coming to study, to give them opportunity of them after studying to stay to continue.
And that makes sense. You don't want to train
and then leave them.
and
That's
then
what
let them
we've
go
been
out.
doing all these years.
But that's
you know?
what we also do.
Like I was reading some statistic here that were by Gardner. So by 2030, more than 85 million jobs are projected to go unfilled globally, costing companies trillions in lost revenue.
Sure.
This is structural challenge that demand proactive solution. So you as a company, that proactive solution, it's not for you to wait for Elon Musk to come to stand and to talk about it, or Jeff Bezos or whatever.
Oh,
you are part
Ramaphosa.
of it. Yeah, you are part of these things. So as we said, you have to be prepared about these things. To be prepared, meaning that you have to participate into the solution of this. How to participate in this is it's whether to train people. That's why you see us, Oxano 7, we are going to communicate about the academy. Academy, the purpose of our academy is also to try to fill up that gap of talent, because talent gap is not only yes, there's no people who are qualified to do the job that is there, but also it's these people who are there but they're not equipped. And
the people who have the experience is not training the next generation.
Then the next generation. And you who have the experience, you have to train the next generation. Because if you don't do that, as you were saying, there will be shortage of the skilled people, and it's only the powerful people who are going to be able to afford those people, and you left behind in your competition and all that stuff. But also, this is a responsibility of our countries, especially here in Africa. Africa, we have young people who are
strong, smart, talented.
I don't understand. I try to understand, but I don't understand why Africa don't think about things like that. You said here, all the skilled people are going into America, Europe, UK, or whatever, they're going there, and they are the one who are innovating outside there, and they're bringing the same technology that they're getting like minerals here. They go there, they transform it with our people who are working there, and then they bring it
and sell it back to us.
How do we want to compete to like in this environment? How do we want to grow our economy with all these problems? So we have to be mindful of that and to find a way with our government and with all the people who are involved in these things, to see how we retain people, how can we keep talent, how can we develop talent, and then which talent is needed in Africa, how can we do it. And then countries like China, they knew about that.
Yes,
countries like
into talent development.
They send people. I was watching the documentary of China, the way they did for them to be where they are. They say that the government, they will go to look for experts outside in Europe or whatever. They pay them the money they need. They will take them, bring them inside the country, and they train them.
Yes.
They train their people. They will pay for education. They will send people. The government take people, go to America, go to whatever, go learn their technology and bring it back. That's why you see the guy who's the CEO of TikTok now. He used to work for, I think, is it Microsoft or some company there in America. After finishing, go back to TikTok. He's the one, and right now he was in the inauguration of Donald Trump. That's how they use. And then if you go under the FBI YouTube, there is videos that one of the video, I forgot the title of the video, where they're showing how China used to come they're still doing it, to come to America to train people or to steal talent.
Yeah.
So you as a country, you as a business, you have to be aware of that. Of what can I do this year? Because we are living this year, we are living today for tomorrow. You must be aware of the way you also treat your people, because one of the problems in the talent gap is like when people are not really well rewarded, they will leave, they will go. And there's a shortage of that. And then there's the talent, that critical talent skills that your company need. You will lose people.
It's a big loss because every time a person walks out of your company, they leave with all of that experience. And we know that training people is a risk, but it's necessary. And the longer you wait to invest in your people, the slower the longer the learning curve is going to be. And people become dissatisfied. I know when I was working in corporate, I became extremely dissatisfied because the company was no longer investing in my growth. Like we used to go on courses for, I'm talking soft skill development, relationship skill development, sales, negotiation, personality traits, like things that it doesn't always have to do directly with your job, but it enriches you as a person, and because of it, you grow and you do better. And it's so important because not only, so there's two ways to acquire a talent. It's either you buy it, a ready-made talent, and that's the talent that's running out because it's becoming too expensive and people are no longer loyal. So you see people jumping from one company to the next company. We call it jumping ladders. So instead of climbing this ladder, you jump, because every time you jump the ladder, you go up 2 or 3 steps. You don't have to follow the traditional career path where you get promoted and then you become a junior and then a senior and then a manager. No, it's like, okay, I'm a junior, but if I jump to the other company, I can immediately become a manager. Yeah. And I used to see that in corporate a lot where people do that. So we can no longer rely on people just being loyal for the sake of a job. We have to invest in our people and make sure that we are helping them to thrive, to be in an environment where they feel like they are able to live out their own dream as they are helping you reach your dreams. They are being invested in as a person, not just for the sake of the company, but for the sake of them as a person growing. And so you have to work harder to win people's loyalty. The other big challenge that we have is that, and we mentioned it earlier, is that jobs are changing.
Yeah.
The WEF, their 2024 Future of Job report says that, by 2030, that majority of traditional jobs would have either completely have fallen away or changed in a way that is completely different from the way that it is done today. And so, yes, AI and technology, it's taking jobs, but it's also creating new jobs. And so am I investing in my staff, in my workforce, so that I'm helping them to transform the very job that they are doing so that we can keep them? Because if they are not transforming with the job, we're going to lose them. Yeah. And then the price you have to pay to acquire somebody that's ready-made is going to be 10, 100 times more expensive than to start now to invest in your people. So the talent gap is a real thing. Don't think that there's plenty of people out there. And remember that the people that work in your company, they are the company. They become the client satisfaction. They deliver the service. They talk to your clients. And so it's important that you invest in good people.
They are the one who can destroy your company.
Yes.
Because working inside your company, they see things, they know. And we know very well how these big companies like that we know outside, how they got some of their technology out. It's just to get someone inside who's not satisfied, who's not happy, and then bring them the other side, and then they implement the same thing. So understanding
corporate
that,
espionage.
Understanding that it's a war of innovating quickly. As we're saying, we started with technology. For you to innovate, for you to implement technology into your business, you need talent. People who will be able to do that.
Yes.
And if you have already those people, you have to upskill them, you have to train them, you have to give them opportunity to grow into the new technology.
Yes.
But also just be nice with them, treat them nicely, and then you shouldn't also just stuck with your people. Go outside, develop communities.
Yes.
Invest in. I know. Yes, investing in people is difficult, but it's risky. But I'll be happy today to go to heaven knowing that I've helped someone to develop something. I've done something in this world. Someone is outside there living their dream because I was part of their life. So we have to see also that humanity in us, and then just go outside there, develop to help. We love our country. If the country is well done, well served, our business also will thrive, will go up. So we have to be part of we have to participate. Shouldn't just keep, because most of the time we keep things around us and what we do. My business is good, everything's fine. The rest that's outside, I don't care about it, because I have what
anymore.
You cannot, because everything, the next company affect me directly.
Yes.
If this building, the company that's managing this building doesn't manage this building well, it's going to affect me. I will have to move, or I will have to do some other stuff. Like, if there's the next company that not doing well, like the world today is linked. So we have to be participative in this environment by upskilling people, by investing in people, by buying people from other countries for our country, South Africa, by keeping those people, there's a lot that we can do. So we need that. There must be more universities, more. I'm not a fan of universities, but like mostly technical skills.
Yes.
For innovation and technology, because digital transformation is the one that drives the future.
Yes.
So we have to invest this year, invest in one person, in one child, in township. This year, invest in your nephew, so that we can fill this gap of talent. Because it's serious. Yeah. Here they were saying that in 2030 is just now here.
It's just around the corner.
There's
years.
So many jobs that's
40%. It's 40% of jobs.
It's a very serious problem.
And the thing is, the more specialized your market is, your business is, the bigger the problem it's going to get. Because taking us into the next risk, the fourth one, because of evolving customer preferences, the way the world consumes is changing rapidly. We don't consume the same way we used to. So the world has become extremely consumer driven. Even the business world is extremely consumer driven and focused. We know that technology, research, marketing, sales, propaganda, all these things are focused on psychology and understanding people, because people are your clients. Whether it's you have a client that's a big corporate or an individual person, whether you're selling, you have a Kasi business and you're just selling to the guy on the street or in the township, or you're selling to people in Santon or New York, or you creating Prada shoes. It doesn't matter. Like, your consumer at the end of the day is a person somewhere. And so it's important that we understand the psychology and the changing psychology of the people that buy from us. Like people are not like things are like the standards are changing, how fast things are happening are changing. People don't want to wait anymore. We live in a rapid society, instant pleasure. People want, we see it in for example, in our media business, people want things to come out immediately. Oh, we recorded the podcast. Can we have it an hour later? Like, no, you can't. but it's like people want things because life is so fast-paced, and people want things to turn over quickly. They want to have that insurance this thing is going to work. People are extremely driven by what others are saying. Like before you buy now, you no longer just look at what they say about the product, but just look at what other people are saying about the product. If you go to Takealot or Amazon and you want to buy something, you look at the reviews. So those are things that you have to, like business reviews on Google and on social media platforms are becoming more and more and more important. And it's scary for me to see how often I see people and clients where they just don't focus on those things. They don't invest in it. They don't look at what people want. And with AI, it's easier than ever to understand your market. What is it? I want to say consent, but that's not the word. The incentive of what people are thinking, what they are feeling, the behavior of the market. So the research and the statistics out there is easier to come to, but you have to invest the time and the effort to understand that I can't just deliver the same thing and expect that clients are going to be happy. My level of service and product has to change and evolve with the expectation of the client. And so this is a very big thing.
Very big.
Going together with ESGs, the environment things, sustainability, governance. People are more and more concerned about, are you compliant? Are you sustainable? Where do you source your plastic from? Where is it bio-friendly? And some of us, we might think, man, this is just nonsense. But the people who buy, it's not nonsense to them, and that's the problem. And
they're the one who have the money.
That's exactly. You want the money, then you have to understand your consumer. And more than ever, this is important because there are companies that are pushing this and focused on this, and they are creating machine learning applications and apps and data sets that are able to tell them what clients want within an instant.
I wanted to people are seeing like Shein and the other one is it Temu. What Temu and Shein they do, the reason why they were quick to conquer the market is this. So they have a system, AI or whatever that they use, AI, I think it's AI, to analyze in second quick, because I watched an interview of the CEO of Shein saying that they know that once you get to the app, you click, they price the way the price is based on your behavior. Once you get to the app,
smart pricing,
like it change in a second.
Yes.
So they test, and then when they show you a product and they see that for example in 1 minute or 2 minutes you didn't click to it, they remove it. So I'm
sure it's even faster than that, like seconds.
So then they were able to adapt or to grow in the global market because they were thinking in people place.
Yes.
So that's consumer behavior. It's very important for you who is in the business. Your customer matter than your product.
Yes.
So you build things for them, not for you.
Yes.
You adapt to their behavior, not to your behavior.
That's the big entrepreneur's pride trap, you know. I made something so amazing and you have to buy it.
It's amazing
Nobody
for
cares.
you, not for you. So these Chinese companies, they work with that. They change. They show you this one after 1 second, 5. I think he was talking about second, not minute.
Yes.
Like, bah, 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 bah. pump. And you see people, they're working on that addiction that people have. That buy a button
dopamine,
that we have.
That dopamine.
Yeah, dopamine.
Why can't I say the word?
Dopamine. Like, so you adapt with that and you learn. And that's why, going back to the technology, you have to check your technology. How do you collect your data? Do you analyze your data?
Make data-driven decisions.
How can you analyze your data quickly? And then those who are in the media, you must know that people will work with you or sponsor you based on your data. But how can you collect your data? How can you keep your data so that you can show it to people? You can show. How can you adapt to the market? Because in the market here, there's B2B and B2C. If you are B2B, you must know how what your customer wants. What are they looking for? If you are working, your target is corporate. What can I offer to corporate? What they're willing? What their regulation? What the things? What to complain? Like, if you want to work for the government is your client. You have to adapt. You have to know what they need from you. Like, you have to know. You have to be there so that you can. You don't have to. You are not surprised.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have this document? What is that? And now you have to go back first to check on those.
And people are impatient. They don't want to wait for you anymore. And the thing is also, I was thinking about this, how important it is that we understand that clients are looking for flexibility. Customization is one of the key words of 2025 when it comes to consumption. I don't want to. I don't care that you have a Big Mac and a double pounder or whatever McDonald's have. I want to have a burger that's with this and this and this and this. I'm using an example. But that's something that's also a trend that's being driven more and more. Like, I want to be able to micro customize the product or the service so that it suits my need. I'm not willing to pay anymore for something that I don't need or I don't want. And we see this increasing even with our clients, that they are looking for solutions that fit their budget and their needs at that specific time. Yes, you can have your packages and you can have your things, but can it be customized? So that flexibility in being willing to bend and to change and to shift things in the way that you offer to your clients is very important. That you have to be flexible and willing to work differently with things so that you can meet the need that the client has. That people are more and more expecting that from companies to be able to deliver a customizable solution. People are no longer okay with you just, well, this is what it is and that's what it is. Like, it's you have to be able to adapt. You have to be able to be agile. You have to make quick decisions. Can we give this service to this client at this price without having to go through 100 different loops? Like, people are looking for that customization, and that's very important that you take that into consideration and do things differently. You can't just deliver the same product and the same service year after year after year and expect people to be excited about it.
The real example of that is if you go into your, let's say, Uber or wherever delivery food app.
Yes, Mr.
You
D.
see that if you want a burger, they will give you option of what to add.
Yes.
If you want chili, you want this, you want this. They're giving you, because in the Zin what is Zin? Generation Z.
Gen Zs.
Gen Zs.
Now it's Gen Alphas.
Yeah, like in this generation, people want to have the last say. I'm choosing.
Freedom.
Of choice. So these big companies, these people who know about this, they give people that freedom of choice.
Yes.
So, okay, you want what? What do you want? I want a burger. How do you want your burger to be?
Yes.
Well done, medium, this and this, that, me choosing.
And make it quick and easy. Yeah. Like, in the choosing, you have to give people the remote control.
Yeah.
Like that's where technology comes in, because you have to make it quick and easy and like the person, having a person between me and the choice is irritating. That old joke, do you want tea or coffee? No, I want tea. Or do you want rooibos or normal tea or Earl Grey tea or vanilla chai tea? Just normal tea. Do you want hot milk or coffee? It's like it becomes annoying. But if there's a screen,
I get annoyed. When it's like you start to ask me a lot.
Because you don't want a person to question, because it feels like your decisions are being questioned.
Yeah.
But when you give people an option where it's automated, or they click on a screen, or you have different packages that already have all those different types of decisions available, it makes people feel comfortable. Okay, I have the freedom to choose without being questioned.
Imagine when you are talking, I'm just thinking about a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine you have a restaurant. This is a tip I'm giving outside there. Imagine you give people a
$1 million business idea.
Imagine you give people a tablet. McDonald's implemented with
you order by the front,
and you go. But imagine now if this our classic restaurant.
Yes.
Imagine you, in terms of to give people a very big book, and then now people have to choose the things they don't know. But you give them now a tablet where they can move and then choose and chairs and put this. Then someone standing there. Okay, you want to bake a well done? What? What this? And then I always get confused. I get confused. I just okay. What do you suggest to me? So that's something very important to.
They call it hyper personalization.
Yeah.
The ability to personalize what I'm getting. So we have to think, every business owner, manager, CEO, we need to think about that. How can I give my clients, because that's going to be the trend for this year and going forward. People want personalization. We see, especially even with cars that are coming out now, you can choose your color, your seats, your what apps, the screen. Like, people love that kind of thing. It makes it feel personal. And so people are really driving. And imagine having the same, if Samsung comes out with the same phone every year. I know Apple does that. They come out with the same phone every year.
And they wonder why people... But the thing here is this. That personalization is good because it's in your favor. Why? Because beside you getting customer loving your brand, you can sell more to the customer.
Yes, cross-selling.
Because if you say, okay, you see, there's two things here. This one is all can go inside here. This one is $5. This one is $1. But this one is giving you more option for this, and then it's more expensive. I will see, okay, this one is giving me more value, because when it comes to customization, or what's the word again? Consumer preference is the value.
The perception of value.
Everything goes into the value that people are seeing, that people are getting. So if you give them opportunity to choose what value they need. You are giving them. You are playing with that pride that all of us have of choice. You know who mastered that? God. He gave us free will to choose.
Yes, exactly. That's the thing.
Okay, I create you. Your bones, your eyes, everything, everything you are, I'm the one who did it, created this, but I gave you a free will to choose.
Yes.
Why don't we business do the same thing?
Yeah, I'd say, sometimes there's the perception of increased cost, and there is something to say about that it can drive costs, because options, especially when it comes to food, more options are more costly, and there's a lot of wastage. But there are companies that have managed to master that and to give people the option of choice and making more money with it. So it's a topic that we can deeply explore a little bit more at another time.
Two choice are Good. I was reading somewhere where they were talking about, in most pricing it's three choice, but they say when people have more choice, there's a guy who sells a shoes seller who came with that idea, because he said all the time when if he present one shoe to a lady or a person, and then the other person said, can you show me that one, the second one, and then when the person asked for the third one, he will say, which one should I take?
You can only have two options, yeah.
Then I say that strategy made him to sell more. Which one should I take? Why do you want the third one? Which one should I take? And the person will say, okay, take this one. And then they buy this. But when you start to bring the third one,
the likelihood of purchasing goes down.
Down. So that means that as much as you are giving people the choice to choose, you still the master.
Yes.
Of
pulling the strings.
Yeah. This one is between us.
Like you said about Shein and Timo, it's like you have choice, but they're guiding you. And that's what sales is, right? So sales is helping a person to make a good decision.
So you still have to guide people to make a good decision, because sometimes or most of the time, we don't know what we want.
Yeah.
And we still want we still want that guide to guide us, to tell us, this is good, this is this, this is this. So you still have your job to guide people, but give people that choice. If God does it with us. Okay, I'm putting before you two
choices,
and this one is good, this one is bad, but this is what the Bible is saying. But I'm telling you to choose the right one.
Yes.
I'm not putting you in the right one, but I'm telling you the right one is a good one, and I'm advising you to choose the right one. So that's what we should do in this new economy, in this because people buy with emotions, and in this world with everything economic wars and things, regulation, people are mostly driven by emotion. So you have to do that. You have to guide those people, but also be mindful of them, because it's not about you, it's about them.
Talking about emotions, which is our last point, every time there's a nice segue into our next point. So emotion, which is the last thing in number 5, the risk for 2025 is not paying attention to mental health. And this is, we know that mental health has been a buzzword for the last couple of years, and it really peaked during COVID. We saw the impact of mental health on people, and how actually, statistically speaking, more people died from mental related issues than from COVID itself. Especially they said that in Japan, more people died from suicide than actually dying from COVID during COVID. And so as we talk about all these things, technology, geopolitical issues, trades and wars and customers and decisions and products and changes and policies, it can be very stressful because there's a lot to think about. And if you're an entrepreneur, then you know what you signed up for, hopefully. And if you are a business manager or CEO or on the board, then you know that there's a lot that needs to be thought about, and not just for you as a person, but also for the people working in the company. So this is kind of something that we want to leave with you today, is to remind you to take care of your mental health. Make sure that you get enough rest. Make sure that you have an accountability partner, people that you can talk to, a group that you can hang out with that has the same vision, the same drive as you, that can encourage you. And remember that not every day is going to feel great, and that's okay. this week there was a day where I felt it. I was like, I'm not having a good day, and you recognize it, but you roll with it. You know how to handle it. You know what you need to do, or you need to. If you don't, then you need to figure out what you need to do that works for you to help you to cope. But it's important because this is, like Simon Sinek says, it is a long-term game. It's not a short game. We have to play the eternal game. Business is about who can last the longest.
Yeah.
Right? It's not about growing the fastest or doing the best things. It is about who can stay in the game the longest. And so this is one of the most important priorities, is that you take care of yourself, take care of your people, so that you can stay in the game. Because the longer you are in the game, hopefully the better you'll get at it. And business is really, it's a fun game, dangerous and exciting and risky and adventurous, everything at the same time. But if the MC, the main character, if it gets hurt, then the story is over.
Yeah.
So it's really important that you do take care of your mental health, physical, mental, and spiritual health this year, because we don't know what is going to happen this year.
Yeah, leadership, it's a decision making. What's called it, a position. So you as a leader, here, I'm not talking only about the CEO, but in any department you are, you have to be mindful of that, because you or the people are working for you. It's your mental. Tony Robbins. He was talking.
You're asking me again. Yeah, I already messed up 2 names.
He was saying that entrepreneurship is 80% psychology.
Yes.
Psychological. And 20% is skills.
Yes.
I would say it's 90% psychological, like 90% your mental. Because imagine there's a contract of $100 million in the table, and then you have to wait to sign it. Can you imagine the frustration that you will have? And then that frustration of fear, because emotion is fear and greediness. And those are the two things that destroy businesses, because business owners, they start to mistreat people because they're not getting the result they need. And that's greedy, because they want more. Business owners, they start to mistreat people because because there's threat in the market, or there's people who are not performing again. They're scared to what? To lose, to close the business. And now you are navigating in the edge, because also you must know that you need the people you're working with, and you need yourself, because the business will continue because you have right mindset, and you take good decision when you have a right mindset. Mentally you're okay. So there's things that you have to take care of. If you have to have a good sleep, have it. If you have to rest. Also, if you think you need a psychologist, get a psychologist, or just to have someone that you can sit and talk. Because trust me, elevation, success is lonely. Because more successful you get, more more you become isolated, because you are scared of people who want to steal you, to steal you. People who want to steal you, people who want to lie to you, people who want something from you, and all these things. And even people want just to kill you, because like this guy, there's a CEO of a insurance company in America who was killed.
Yes. For
you
that,
see,
health.
Yeah. So those kind of things make people to be isolated. There's a book called I know it's in French, guys. all the time I speak I speak English, you must know that I'm translating.
In your head.
Yeah. There's things that flow normally, and there's things that I have to translate first, button, and then outcome. Yeah. So there's things like that, and you might find that it's people who are not mentally well in the company that destroy the company
yes.
or yourself, the responsible of the business. You are not mentally well, and then you start to destroy the company by you're not taking good decision. You're not talking nicely to people. You're not showing up. You're just your decision become a mess, and they will know that you're a good leader, not when things are good, but when things are bad.
Yes,
that's why you see people like Mandela. Their name is up there. Their name was up there because when they were president of South Africa, but because of their endurance and the decision they made when
it was difficult.
It was difficult for them. And then we can go Martin Luther King and all these big leaders that we see outside there. So you must know how to navigate in this world of business, because business is stressful. Yes. When you lose money, it's stressful. When you make money, it's stressful. So you must know how to navigate this. Yes. Take off yourself. Take
enjoy
care
the
of
journey.
For people.
Learn to
just
enjoy.
Enjoy it. Just enjoy it. I think
that's very important. It's very important to learn how to, and that's something that I saw was always lacking in corporate. Like leaders, I did not see leaders as people that are having fun. And I said to myself, I don't want that position. Like these people are stressed out. They're walking around. You can see they're under pressure. Maybe they're nice. They're kind. They're not negative, but you can see that they're not having fun. And so it's very important that we learn to have fun even when we are under stress. Like, don't take yourself so seriously all the time. I know life is serious and business is serious, but if we can't have fun while doing it, then why are we doing it anyway? Then we're just missing out on life. So
that's true.
Right. So thank you so much for listening today to this episode. I think we'll probably have cut it in two or not, but when you see it, you will see it. But thank you for listening. If you got this far, maybe give us a shout out in the comments. Endurance is the key word. We'll send you a prize. And thank you for listening today. And if you have any questions, remember to pop them down below. And do remember to share this podcast as well and to subscribe wheresoever you're listening to the podcast. Christian, thank you so much for your time and for joining me today.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Bye.
Bye.